Each year, national parks cloak millions of visitors with a cloth of awe, mystery, and rejuvenation. Faced with God's world, a sense of adoration and fellowship develops. Nature becomes a common bond. God is revealed in light and stone. Each trail holds a message, each waterway a song. Early visitors would write, "Surely these peaks are the dwelling places of angels." One such visitor, mountain man Jedediah Smith, packed a Bible and a rifle. He was equally proficient with each and had a complete reliance on both. His letter to his brother Ralph in 1829 characterizes the feelings of many visitors.
I find myself one of the most ungrateful creatures. Oh, when shall I be under the care of a Christian church?
Visitors, park employees, and their families have continued to seek out formal worship to give expression to their praise. It was the pennies of Sunday school children that built the Yosemite Chapel in 1879. Missionaries came to the Grand Canyon in the beginning of the 20th century. The Church of the Sequoias was organized in the 1920s. During 1949 and 1950, Christian Lehman, a park naturalist and a landscape architect, began to develop a program with Warren Oast to address the needs of visitors and park residents. Oast, at that time, was a student at Princeton Seminary and worked summers as a bellhop at the Old Faithful Inn. He was also helping with local Sunday school and participating in the choir. A program was proposed based on what Oast was doing. Seminary students would be invited to live and work within a national park. They would have the opportunity to minister there, providing interdenominational services on Sundays and Christian witness in the workplace during the week.
The beginnings of Christian ministry in the national parks, as far as I was concerned, began when I was a bellhop at Old Faithful Inn. And there were all kinds of spontaneous organizations springing up, and I'd had some music training, and so we tacked up wrapping paper signs which read, "If you could carry a tune in a bucket, join the Old Faithful chorus." And we had 150 college kids show up for the first rehearsal. That was really the beginning of the enthusiasm and the momentum which resulted in what is today called a Christian ministry in the national parks.
A Christian ministry in the national parks was born. Its purpose? To provide a ministry which will give a Christian interpretation to the awe that the miracles of God's creation inspire in the visitors and employees in national park areas.
I think it comes down to understanding why people go to parks in the first place, whether it's a national park, forest, or monument. I think largely people are drawn to areas like a Grand Canyon because they hunger for an experience to see something that's larger than we can create ourselves. It's more beautiful than the human mind might be able to imagine. I think without realizing it, people are drawn to a place like that. They see the Grand Canyon, they're amazed at the majesty that they see. It's different from life in Manscape back in Detroit or Newark or Los Angeles or Chicago. And as they see that, they begin to ask new questions. Things like, there seems to be a grander scheme of life out here than there is punching in and punching out back in Chicago. Here, it's different. There's a grand scheme of life, and I think the person, as they stand on the rim of the Grand Canyon, or maybe looking at Old Faithful as it spouts up, they say, what is my place in this grand scheme of life? There seems to be some kind of purpose for all this creation. What is my purpose, and where do the two meet? And I think at that point, a person begins to realize, consciously or subconsciously, now they're not in Manscape anymore. They're in what I call Godscape. And they're asking religious questions even though they don't realize they're religious questions. I think that's why we have 300 million people coming to national park areas. Our role then is to provide a Christian interpretation of the creation in such a way that people can make use of that openness that they have in a park area. But we're there to experience the beauty of the creation that God has made around us and to interpret it and to ask, what does this mean for our lives together in a fragile environment that we want to preserve and yet see and use? It's a delicate balance.
Christian Ministry of National Parks is an interdenominational evangelical movement that provides services of worship, and Christian education, and Christian fellowship opportunities for people who live, work, and visit in our nation's 65 parks.
Christian Ministry is a rather unique organization because it's fully interdenominational. We have, I think, somewhere in the vicinity of 40 denominations represented, and we provide Sunday services in the parks for visitors and for workers, and we also provide fellowship and Bible study for the people who work here all summer or in various parks. There are over 65 parks and monuments that are served by the Christian Ministry.
Would you like to be a part of this program? You can spend a summer spreading Christ's message through word and work. Employees and their families living in national parks need someone to minister among them. Visitors seek to worship with other Christians to add to the depth of their park experience. Opportunities for witnessing and modeling a Christ-filled life abound.
My name is Billy Viergoots. I'm originally from Colby, Wisconsin. I've gone to school in Minnesota at Concordia College and Concordia Seminary in St. Louis, Missouri. I enjoy outdoor ministry. I've also been blessed. I've been given a fantastic job at the marina, and from the marina I can see the whole Teton Range, and it's never boring. Moose come down to the lake and drink. I saw a moose swimming across the lake this morning, and I've seen bald eagles, osprey, a lot of wildlife.
So your witness is very important, basically your actions even more than your words. So you have a good chance to share the gospel through your actions, but also to discuss ideas with other employees that might never have heard before.
We try to witness two ways. One is in the official ministry programs, such as the worship services, the outside programs, things like that. But the other is to worship with each other, minister to each other as friends, employees, and on-the-job ministry. There are ways that at the front desk, as an employee, I can represent a Christian lifestyle to people that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
One of the reasons I enjoy my job so much is because I know that that's not all I'm doing. I've got this ministry to participate in. And to me, that's what gives being out here meaning, is the ministry. But I love the work I'm doing. It's more of like a lifestyle witnessing, just in relationship building and getting to know the people.
The need is great. Will you help answer this need? The interdenominational services that you can provide in national parks are held in a variety of settings. Generally, 3 services are offered on Sunday and a Sunday school. Bible study sessions are also encouraged. Some services are held indoors. Most are held outdoors. Outdoor services can have elements which accent worship, but they can also provide challenges.
Insect repellent, anyone? It's gonna get buggy. I recommend it.
I'll have some.
The Christian church as a group.
And then we have the enthusiasm of
nature, which periodically displays itself for us in such things as Old Faithful. And I don't know about you, but I always like to give credit where credit's due, so I'm going to pause while Old Faithful goes off.
From the first orientation session in the spring to the last services in the fall, you will receive guidance, fellowship, and support.
Support comes from enabling people to go to somebody who knows how it works here.
Well, my job this summer within the Christian ministry is as a supervisor. I am called the student staff coordinator for Yellowstone, which is just a long title. On Sundays, I go from area to area. We have 7 areas in the park, all served by teams, and we have actually 15 worship areas served by those 7 teams. My job's to go around. I'm a hand holder. I'm an encourager. I'm an advice giver. I think sometimes I'm a mother.
In most national park programs, you're going to find a committee that's there as a background entity. It's a support group. Here in the Grand Teton National Park, for example, we have a very, very active committee that is not only there in the support of the functions of the ministry, but also there in spiritual support and prayer support.
The local committee is are the local Christians that are members of the Park Service or people that live here, and they're very supportive. I thought that you might be just dumped here in the summer and you don't really know what to expect, and you might think that you would be alone, but they're very supportive.
Seminary and college credits in field education are available. The interdenominational nature of this program provides great stimulation and enjoyment.
Well, the program's interdenominational because the church is, and in order to really provide a ministry that the entire church can participate with, it needs to be interdenominational.
What I like is in our group we have different people who are from so many different denominations, and we're all Christians and we all love Jesus, but you get little individual differences, which is nice because it kind of challenges you for what you believe particularly.
The concessionaire in national parks plays a dual role in the program. As Stephen Mather once said, scenery is hollow enjoyment to a tourist who sets out in the morning after an indigestible breakfast and sleep on a fitful bed. So the concessionaire is allowed to provide services for the visitor's comfort, encouraging them to stay and relax longer. Concessionaires also provide jobs and cooperate with student ministers. Without the cooperation of the concessionaire, ministry in the national park areas would not be possible. Your secular job will be an important part of your ministry. The jobs vary and are not all glamorous, but they hold 3 important opportunities. First, the opportunity to learn to be a servant as Jesus teaches. Second, the opportunity to witness, model a Christian life, and provide pastoral care to employees. And third, the opportunity to earn money.
Food is good too.
I'm Becky Scaife. I'm from Schenectady, New York, and I'm working at Flag Ranch this summer. And I'm living in this cabin right behind me here, H5, and I'm having a lot of fun here. I'm working in the motel office this summer.
Your time in the national park allows for many recreational opportunities: horseback riding, rafting, hiking, quiet times, fishing, biking, running, and more. What kind of a person does a Christian ministry need? Participants bring many enriching qualities with them, and in return are enriched.
I would say the most important ingredient is faithfulness. Oh, faithfulness, by far. much more than genius and spectacular qualities of leadership.
There are 5 things we look for in people. The first thing is obviously faith. A viable faith that can communicate itself to other people. The second thing is enthusiasm. That people are willing to go out and do what they do willingly and enthusiastically with a positive attitude in a way that's infectious and contagious. Not only as they worship, but also as they work and in their lifestyle as they live. A third thing is flexibility. For a student to serve with our ministry, they need to be flexible. They're working with people who are not exactly like them in terms of their church heritage, their personal lifestyle, geographical background, economical background. Flexibility is important. Another is commitment. We ask that they stick to their contract, that they will do the services as they have promised. And the fifth thing is simply maturity. Parks do provide challenges in terms of the environment, as I say, in terms of the work, in terms of the park visitor. Maturity is needed for that.
If I could give students who participate in the program a characteristic that would make them effective, it would probably be adaptability.
The summer is one they remember and recommend to others.
I'm Jim Simpson, and I'm a minister in a local church in Farmington, New Mexico. I was in the ministry in the parks while I was attending TCU. I think I grew more intellectually and spiritually and in terms of interaction with people in those 2 summers than I ever did.
A summer of intense professional growth, and most importantly, a summer to grow closer to Christ. We invite you to join us in a summer of service to Christ. 1,000 wonders are calling. Look up and down and round about you. Listen to the many still, small voices directing you to look through all the wonder, to learn that Christ is here, and this is indeed the dwelling place of angels. With Christ at the center, here's an opportunity for leadership, an opportunity to worship, to preach, to earn money, to teach, to witness, to work secular jobs, to apply the gospel and environmental issues, to share music, to lead drama, choirs, art groups, and recreation, to explore the theology of Christian vocation in ministry and work, to grow spiritually. This is an opportunity for Christ to be in your work and in your leisure. Why not contact us today? Write to A Christian Ministry in the National Parks, 222.5 East 49th Street, New York, New York, 10017. Do it today.